Hello, my name is Christopher Rendove, and this is my ENME351 Lab 9 final project, the protected ultrasonic sensor. So some highlights of this project: the sensing will be done by an ultrasonic sensor, and the actuation is controlled by a stepper motor that is connected through a L293D, and then there's a set of LEDs that also corresponds to the distances so you can see it physically. And then I'll go into how the code operates, and then I'll show a demo. So going through my Arduino code, you can see I have a bunch of universal variables defined at the top, but the only three you need to look at are the final three, those being steps, distance, and duration. Steps being equal to the number of steps for one revolution. In this case, it's 2048 for the stepper motor, and you can see how I calculated it. Next will be the distance and duration used for the ultrasonic sensor. In void setup, I have the serial.begin to start printing to the serial monitor, and then I have a bunch of pin modes for the different setups. So these pin modes, which are all outputs, are for the stepper motor. Then I have one output and one input for the trig and echo pin respectively, and then 4 outputs for pin modes for the LEDs. Moving on to the void loop, I have a function called ultrasonic, which I will go into a little bit later, going through how the ultrasonic sensor works. And then I have a bunch of if-else statements going through the different distances. As you can see, it's between 35 and 25 centimeters, 25 and 15 centimeters, 15 and 5 centimeters, and then everything below 5 centimeters. And then finally, an else statement which has all the LEDs off. Going back from top to bottom, it'll go with 1 LED on. As it's getting closer, it'll turn on 2, then 3, and then all 4 will turn on. Once it's in this final one where all 4 are on, we do a slight delay, and then it calls the block function, which I'll get into a little later, and then the retract function. So the ultrasonic function controls how the ultrasonic sensor reads it, and it was adapted from this creator on the Arduino.cc project hub, and it's just one of the ways that you control it. So this will just clear the trig pin, and then you're going to go send a signal high and then low with a delay in between so you can capture it. And then using the pulse in function, you're going to read the echo pin to get the duration, and with that you can calculate the distance using the speed of sound. And these distances are all going to be in centimeters. Then I have a slight delay so that it doesn't overprint to the serial monitor, and then I have it printing to the serial monitor. Then for the block and retract functions, they're the same functions essentially, just one is in one direction, so the block will be in counterclockwise, and then the retract will be in clockwise, both being controlled by these functions essentially the same, just in reverse, which is going through the stepper motor the way that it's actuated. And then it goes through 26 iterations through it, just due to the fact that I wanted it to be between 45 and 90 degrees, just to operate it like that. So as you can see, this is the default screen for my processing code, and right now it's sensing a distance of 50 centimeters due to this book roughly 50 centimeters away. And now coming through this, it's going to show an object on the screen, and you can see I'm going to zoom in right here. Right now it's at 35 centimeters here, 35 on there. And as we continue to move forward along the line, it continues to move forward with it, passing the 25, then the 15, and then as we keep going to the 5, just like that. So I'll be using a foam golf ball to display the actuation portion of my project. And as you can see in the background from the previous point that I forgot to mention, the LEDs also do turn on when you get within the range. So there it is. That's within 2, and 3. And then as it gets all the way here where I'll show 4, it's gonna push it, cleaning area, way too close, gets back. And then once it gives it a second, load back up.